That doesn't matter.
I think you ought to know about men's radio. The place where men and women really speak. Oh man, what a show. It's men's radio. This crazy show is on 3 times a week. Now Russ and Phil are there to help with all your cares. We laugh, we cry, we talk like grown-ups do. But if you're sad and low, it won't cost you no dough. And radio, that's the place for you. With Russ Kane and Phil Dave.
Not half pop, because out of Unit 1 into Unit 2. And how about just a little bit of Dave, Deve, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and you know who, all right? There we go.
Yeah, I can't say that. Hello.
I know you can't. That's why I say it. Phil Dave, and it's good to see you're sitting in a lift. Supposing those doors open and somebody gets in the lift.
No. It's symbolic of how I feel. I'm going up in the world. But anyway.
Lifts also go down, like your investments.
This is very true.
Yeah, I know. It's extraordinary. Isn't it? It does actually look like the doors are going to go. You're going to be long.
Third floor, ladies' underwear going down.
Look at this, Mr. Showbiz. Fat Scotty, who is not Scottish, actually comes from he comes from Wolverhampton. You don't know if you know that, Phil. From Wolverhampton.
I was actually quite near Wolverhampton a couple of days ago.
Oh God, you poor bastard!
Why?
Why?
I took a wrong turn.
Oh, I took a wrong turn, and somehow I ended up here. Robert Van Buren, horologist to the stars. Morning, Russ and Phil. Hello. And bang, Russ jocking it. Hey, jocking it.
Horologist, is that someone who deals with plants?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Or deals with your horrors.
Oh, yes.
I had a weirdest dream. I dreamt I was doing... Wait for it. I know exactly what he's going to say. I dreamt I was doing panto again. Not a gag. It's not leading up to a gag. I actually dreamt I was doing panto. For some reason with Dawn French. God knows why, but I was. And it was funny. I was making myself laugh. I know, embarrassing, isn't it? I was actually making myself laugh.
And that's the main thing.
Audience, and that's the main thing when you get to my age. Anything to pass the time.
Anything to pass the time and anything to pass the water.
Anything to pass the wind. Basically, charcoal. That's what I read. God almighty. Hey, Amazon. You sent...
No, Phil, you know this.
Oh, why have I got... I get an Amazon package. Exciting. I've got a 5M RJ11646P 4C straight modular cable. I didn't order this. I don't know what the hell it is.
I don't know how you cope with the pace of life, truly.
Well, I got to tell you, that was the highlight of the day. That was it. I thought it was something exciting. I thought it was going to be my glasses cleaners, but no.
You totally misunderstood when they said they were going to wire something over to you.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. She's getting on my nerves straight away. Straight away, she's getting on my nerves. Elizabeth Green, hi. Morning, hot and sunny here. Beach day. Not having a beach day here. It's raining and in grey. And I've already taken Madam out for a walk and I had to have the hood up. I look like an extra from Don't Look Now in Venice.
Elizabeth, I'll be having a beach day next week.
Oh, why is that, Phil? Please do tell, because I'm agog with interest.
Well, all being well.
Well,
from next Tuesday, from next Tuesday, I will be hurtling my way over to the Middle East. Yes.
Kazakhstan? What are you going to Syria?
I should be in the land of
Syria
milk and honey.
High Street?
No, I'll be in the land of milk and honey. That's right. I'm going to Waitrose.
That's
I'm going
to land of milk and honey. I think that's a calf. That's a calf in Edgware or something, probably.
So didn't Bucks Fizz have a hit with that or something? I am going to Tel Aviv, yes.
You are going to Tel Aviv. Where do you stay in Tel Aviv?
Well, I'm pleased
very good. Fat Scotty, that's a good gag. That's a very good gag. Not this one. Hi, Russell. Sorry, Russ, those cables are mine. Misdelivered from Madam Sin's cable tie.
Good Lord.
Oh, God. Maybe you... What does this one say?
Maybe you can use the cable for your tie-backs for the curtains.
It could be. I think it gives a sort of London Palladium feel, doesn't it? A bit dramatic, really. And
I mean, those curtains are very nice. That the tie back does look a bit Rapunzel.
It is Rapunzel. It's just a woman standing there with long hair.
Yeah, it's been plaited.
Yeah, it's been plaited from Platters.
B train. Oh, I didn't know that. I should make a note of that next time in New York. B train goes to the beach. Brighton Beach,
Brighton
next
Beach,
one along from Coney Island. Nice.
You should write a book, Elizabeth, call it Brighton Beach Memoirs. That would have been quite amusing if I hadn't screwed up.
Or Life's a Beach, you could call it.
Life's a Beach. So you're off to Tel Aviv.
I am, yes.
Tie back as opposed to. Dear me, they're all on they're on fire today.
What's the matter with you there?
I don't know.
Scotty says, I thought the curtains were Julius Caesar's. Oh, thought Julius Caesar's derriere in shot.
Infamy. They've all got it infamy. Yes. Well, I'm glad you like the tie-back curtains. And why not?
Yeah.
I think it adds a touch of class. Phil.
I do as well.
Me, sort of a Rococo Renaissance look today. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, it's almost like an exit stage left look.
It is. That sort of thing. Yesterday, I don't make any silly comments because it'll be embarrassing if you do. It was good. It was the book launch of someone who's been a guest on the show, and it was When Grief Equals Love. I haven't got it in front of me here. Or when Grief Equals Love. Lizzie Pickering, who was a guest on our show, will be a guest again. The book's now published, and she said, "Oh, Russ, would you come along to St. Ethelburger's?" I'm not making this up, I swear to God. It's on not by Liverpool Street Station. St. Ethelburger's. There's like a little church amongst all these huge glass monoliths.
Ethelburger's.
And
sounds like a restaurant.
No, it doesn't sound like a restaurant.
What, Ethelburger's?
Idiot. Absolute idiot. Anywho, I got there. It was heaving, absolutely packed. And she'd asked me to, if I would do the sort of Q&A and the conversation with her for the book launch, which I did. I'm very honored to be in the book. It's When Grief Equals Love by Lizzie Pickering. It's out today, actually. And the launch was yesterday. It was a beautiful affair. It was lovely. As I said, I'm very honored to be in the book because it's a very important subject. We touch about it a lot here on the Daily Show. Not on a Friday usually, but I just thought I'd give Lizzie Pickering a plug. It was great. Lovely atmosphere. It was really St. Ethelburger's. It's the Center for Peace and Reconciliation. You can look it up. St. Ethelburger's on near Liverpool Street Station. You come out of Liverpool Street and hang a right, sort of thing. Come past the Kinder Transport. Come out of Liverpool Street Station. You've got the wonderful Kinder Transport statue. It's a beautiful thing. And then just around the corner, it's so weird finding this little tiny church, kind of what obviously was a church, in the middle of all this city, the financial section. Just sort of mention.
Yeah, it's true.
It's odd there. Here's the weird thing. It's obviously been there forever. And then it was nearly blown up by a terrorist attack.
Oh, that's not completely ideal.
Of it. Yeah.
Has no one ever heard of religion being targeted for terrorism?
Never been done that. Sounds great. Oh, God almighty. I knew she'd get in. She's like a rocket. She is like a heat-seeking missile, this woman. Liz Green says, great. Could you do my next book launch, please? Not if it's porn. No, Elizabeth. If it's nice. Not if it's naughty. 50 Shades of Green.
What if it's like a home book or something? Oh, I see what you did there, because that was a cultural reference to 50 Shades of Grey, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. You see, grey, grit.
Yeah. No, I get these things. I'm quite good.
Fat Scott here. St. Ethelburger, a 7th century abbess of Barking Abbey. She was the sister of St. Ekenwald, a bishop of London. Thanks, Wikipedia. It must be true. Wikipedia says
I can't ever imagine that being something, though. When someone let's just say, imagine all those years back when St. Ethelburger's came to this world, and the parents are holding her in her arm for the first time. Most to her, I don't know, but anyway, holding in the arms for the first time, looks down. Oh, so cute. We call it Ethelburger.
Frogmella. It's an improvement. Can't call it Frogmella. That's a girl's name. I am having a fag. every time I walk past, well, you know, if you walk past offices and you see them smoking outside, and I mutter, I think I'm saying it in my head. I usually end up that I'm actually saying it. It's like, I am having a fag.
Hopefully you'll say you say it in your head.
Do you know, sometimes I swear to God, I think I'm saying things in my head, and I realize to my horror, I actually said them.
No, I hear that. I'm actually with you all the way on that, because there have been occasions when absolutely something, and then the next thing I know is I've said it out loud. But then actually that does actually appear to happen most of the time to me. I'm not entirely sure why.
Go on, you can read.
I don't do it completely on purpose. My golf greenkeepers tell all book entitled 50 Shades of Green, which is why I got the sack. My golf greenkeepers tell all.
I don't think you sold it. My golf greenkeepers tell-all book entitled 50 Shades of Green.
Oh, tell all book. Well, there's no hyphen. Excuse me. Tell all should be.
He's very sloppy. His grammar is sloppy. I'll be honest with you. It's just bloody sloppy. Oh, here we go. Lloyd Beanie. Lloyd, let's go to B&K Beanie. Why is it? Because it's convenient. Well, it's convenient for me, says Lloyd. We had a lovely, lovely time. Lloydski, Chantal will be on in about 15 minutes' time. Okay.
I did observe that you were at B&K. How did you enjoy your salt beef?
It was bloody marvelous. I haven't seen Beanie's been on his world tour. No, he's been in America for like over a month, touring the most obscure places, like the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, blah 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 blah, and doing amazing stuff. And literally going to Chattanooga. They're real places, as you know, and it was lovely to see him, as he is my oldest friend. And,
did he go by train?
Look, pardon me, boy. Is this the? Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to play along, but clearly not. Anyway, and he said, normally Lloyd and I go to.
Oh, I see. You wanted me to carry on with the line Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I missed my cue. Can we try it again?
Okay. Pretend you haven't seen this bit. Right. Pardon me, boy. Is this the
Chattanooga Choo Choo?
Thank God. So weird. We got Elizabeth Green, and now I get an email from Debenhams. Weird. Okay.
That's an email from Debenhams. That's a clever trick.
But Debenhams keep sending emails to me. God knows why. I presume they're just.
Don't they know they've gone?
Well, I get
emails. Well, they're online, aren't they?
There you go.
I think they're online still.
Leslie Ian Jones, he won't let it lie.
Actually, do you know, I walked past the other day. I think was it yesterday? I can't remember. I walked past the other day where Debenhams used to be on Oxford Street. It's very sad.
Yep. What is it now? Nando's or something?
Well, it's being demolished. It looks like a bomb site.
Oh, you're kidding me? What, the whole?
No. The whole thing's being pulled down. It's terrible.
Same
with the House of Fraser.
Offices. Just be offices.
It's same with the House of Fraser, where the House of Fraser was as well.
Tell me something.
Which is really annoying, because I went in to go and buy some shoes in the House of Fraser, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize that it closed down. I couldn't understand why the only thing they had was steel toe cap boots.
And high-vis jackets.
Yeah.
Lloyd is saying, have you been to here recently?
Damages.
What are the old Army and Navy store, which was in Victoria? God, I'm old. Jesus Christ. So there was the Army and Navy store. Come on, everybody, play along. Lloyd's Key, play along. Army and Navy store in Victoria. Do you remember that? There was Gamages.
And what was the one on Regent Street, which is now part of H&M and other bits and pieces? That was a department store as well. It's opposite the Apple store.
Peter Jones?
No, Peter Jones is on Oxford Street. No, Peter Jones is in Kensington.
Oh, it is. Of course, it's on Sloane Square. If you're watching this in America or Germany or France, you're
thinking, what?
Sloane Square?
Oh, Dickens and Jones, perhaps.
Oh, Dickens and Jones. That was it. Thank you, Elizabeth Green. Dickens and Jones. Oh, yes. Now we're getting into it. Graham Pack, the Houndsditch Warehouse.
And who's the one who's
red building on Red Petticoat Lane?
And who's the one who suggested Farmhouse Foods? I don't think that's the same thing.
Waring and Gillow. Now were they a furniture shop, Lloyd?
Sound like an undertaker's.
Waring and Gillow. They're solicitors. I'm going to sue you. I'm using Waring and Gillow. So I think that here we go. Leslie and Jones. Phil strikes me as a Dun & Co. star from the 1940s. Yeah, Phil is born in the wrong time. Everybody
I was going to say, as you well know, that was absolutely right up my strata. So
Do you ever go to the other place that would probably suit you would be Cordings, which is on the Strand. You know, Cordings? You must know. It's a great big
Is it
shop.
a phone shop?
Yeah, I bought this. No, Cordings. You never walk. If you're driving down the street, like in Fulham or Chelsea, and you see some Herbert coming along in like a tweed jacket, but bright red or bright yellow trousers and brogues and everything like that. Oh, good news! I've been upgraded by Jean Patrick. Fantastic. If I was any more upgraded, I'll be running the bloody company. You get them all from Cordings. It's all, you know, tweeds and stuff like that. It's expensive.
Oh, splendid. See, my problem with tweed is it very scarcely comes in grayscale.
No. It what? Oh, because you only do what do you do? Monotone? What do you do?
Monochrome, that's it, yes.
Monochrome. Yeah, monotone. God,
my personality is colourful enough without making my clothes colourful.
Yes. Anyway, now what have I seen? That's any? I haven't got. Oh God, where I can't move. I'm trapped.
Oh dear.
Can't move. Yeah, I know you're really upset. So you're off on Tuesday. How long are you gone for? How many weeks?
I should be gone for 2 weeks.
Blimey, O'Reilly.
But I'm toying with the idea of whether or not, I mean, seeing as it is only an hour, maybe I just do the daily show from Tel Aviv.
Would that be possible? There's not much of a time difference, is there? Or is
no, there's only it's only 2 hours ahead. I mean, I'd be doing the show between 2 and 3 on a Friday afternoon. But bearing in mind that most of Israel shuts down Friday afternoon because of the Sabbath. I kind of understand that.
Are mourning the loss of Dulcis in their range of patent leather Cuban heels for the more discerning gent. Dulcis. Lillian Skinner. Does that still exist? I have no idea. Freeman Hardy and Willis. Lillian Skinner.
That's taxidermy.
You're ridiculous. Let's go to Spain. Hello, boys.
What a superb idea.
All this year I'm off to sunny Spain. Hey, viva España.
Chrissy Richards says, hi, boys. Hello, hot, dry Spain. Oh.
Eating chicken stir fry and basmati rice.
That's an odd combination of cuisines.
Shop. Here's another shoe shop. Anello and David. Was it Anello and David? Well, they were. Yeah, I never went there. No, it wasn't me in Kingston's Primark. God's sake. Oh, dear.
Why do people come up with these strange names? Actually, speaking of shoes, when I went, I actually sort of managed to go
ballet shoes. Yeah, they do ballet shoes. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Goodness sake. So, right, yeah.
Okay.
They sell them 2 by 2. What happened was is that I went into a well-known department store which is still in existence.
Okay.
And naturally, this is where unfortunately my sartorial style lets me down. Because went up to the clerk, the assistant, whatever you want to call them.
Clerk? What are we in New York? It's Elizabeth Green.
What do you call them? Like a shop assistant or something like that. Anyway, went up and explained that I was after a new pair of Chelsea boots. Well, of course, because
Jesus Christ, what is it, 1966? Were you?
Because I was suited and booted. I only wear Chelsea boots, but as I was suited and booted, you see, I feel that unfortunately this gave slightly the wrong impression as to what my budget might be, because the chap took me over to a pair of shoes, which I'm not joking, were as plain as the nose on my face, right? Literally just pointless. Okay.
Yep.
And they weren't winkle pickers, so they were pointless.
Yep,
anyway, so went up and he said, okay, well, these ones I can highly recommend. They've got like a nice sort of like reasonable Cuban heel to them. They're sort of quite comfy on the inside. He said they're the most comfortable ones, very soft Italian leather, no problem at all. Took one look at and he said, right, okay. I just had a look at the price tag, 550 quid.
So you bought 2? You're a wealthy boy.
550
No,
quid.
it's crazy. I don't understand that. 550 quid.
Who spends that on shoes?
I don't. The most expensive item of clothing I've ever bought in my life. And I spent a year walking past, because I always go and see Howard and Penny at the German Street Theatre. Where is that? German Street, obviously. And it's full of fantastic shoe shops. But one of them is, what's it called? Chini. Cheany. James Cheney, I think it's called.
Oh.
And they had these brogues. They were exactly what I wanted. And I spent a year going past them. And I thought, I'll sod it. And eventually I bought them.
And the irony is you actually wore out your old shoes.
I wore them
liberating
to buy these. Yeah, we've got Leslie and Joe. Brogue shoes, check suits, fedora, stylish umbrella. That is Phil, plus a cigar. So you didn't
know
buy
me
these
so
shoes.
well.
And Elizabeth says he wears a cravat. How about I wear Doc Martens. That's what I wear all the time. I wear Doc Marten boots. They're indestructible, especially when you're walking the dog, and you're on and off the buses and tubes and stuff. Man of the people, Wolfie Smith. That is me. I wear Doc Marten boots. That's what I wear all the time. Doc Marten. Agree. What have we got? Yes. Rumor has it the Grace Brothers department store was modeled on the former Draper Harding and Howell company of Pall Mall. No, it wasn't. Actually, Fat Scotty, what it was, now the writer, oh God, I can see his face. Very tall, slim guy. The writer of Are You Being Served got a holiday job when he couldn't get any acting work. I believe it was, I think, either, as Lloyd said, Gamage's or the Army and Navy store. And he based the whole of Are You Being Served on either the
You mean
Army
Jeremy
and Navy
Lloyd?
Jeremy Lloyd, thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
Good Lord, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he did. He actually worked there for a while, and it thought it was so. Are you free?
I'm free.
I worked with John Inman twice in Panto, and he was just a delightful man. What a professional! So supportive and helpful. He was very, very nice. And so Jeremy Lloyd thought this is just insane. He didn't write that, but Croft and Perry, two of my favourite writers ever. You're absolutely right, Scotty. David, Croft and Perry, fantastic.
Tell you what I did find out the other day is, David's.
If you're listening to this, you're missing half the fun. I tell you that. There we go.
Leslie and Jones, everyone has a look. Let's leave it at that. Anyway.
Good Lord.
I found out only the other day, and I thought this is quite exciting because it didn't dawn on me sooner because they just looked nothing alike. But David Swift, who was in Drop the Dead Donkey.
What part did he play?
The title role. But you've got the. I know you'd know him if you saw him. David Swift, and then you had Clive Swift, who was Richard.
I love Clive Swift. Bouquet.
They were brothers. I don't know why on earth it didn't cross my mind, but they just didn't look a thing alike.
Well, how do you ever think that Jeremy Vine, the cycling man,
I know, and Tim Vine
are brothers? Tim Vine, hilarious. Jeremy Vine, not so much.
Bangs on about bicycles. Annoying because he's actually quite a nice chap, but he just bangs on about bicycles.
You know him? I'd never met him, but his tweets drive me up the pole.
No, I know. I can't talk to him about what he tweets, but other than that, he's a nice.
I understand that. I'm not going to embarrass you.
He's very tall as well. Good Lord. Oh my God, Jeremy Vine is a very tall chap.
Has he got a huge bicycle? What's he on riding on? Penny farthing these days? What's he do?
He may as well.
He might as well. He's got a car and shut up about it.
I've just realised penny farthing were probably based on the coins.
A penny and a farthing. Yes. Yeah. Correctamundo.
That makes sense.
Here we go. This is good. Jeremy Lloyd worked at Simpsons in Piccadilly, and it was also based on Clements in Watford, which had floor walkers.
I do miss Clements in Watford.
I've never heard of Clements. What was it?
That wasn't that long ago. That went. I remember it.
Yeah, no, they were brothers. Tim Vine and Jeremy Vine are brothers. Absolutely, Tim Vine. I only have to see Tim Vine and I start laughing. I think he's fantastic. He's got funny bones. He makes me laugh because it's silly, it's clean, it's so quick. I just love him. And if funny is funny. The end. If you find it funny, it's comedy. If you don't, it's not comedy to you. Doesn't mean it's not funny. It's just not funny to you. Like Keith Lemon, I'd rather have my wisdom teeth extracted. Other people love him. There you go. It's not funny to me. Doesn't mean he's not funny. Just not funny to me. Yeah, Tim Vine, hilarious. When I did the Edinburgh Fringe, I saw him do his show called Plastic Elvis. And he stays in character the whole time. And he comes on as Elvis. It was terrific, fabulous band. John Archer was in the band. John Archer's just a great guy. If you ever get the chance to see John Archer in Cabaret, run and go and grab a ticket. He's terrific. Yeah. And he just came on in this sort of tight leatherette, pleather cat suit and a wig, and he was Elvis for like 2 hours. It was hilarious. And then met him afterwards, and he was Tim Vine again. Charming man.
And he's
Very,
also
very nice.
he's also responsible for one of my favorite one-liners.
What?
I used to live in a teapot. I know what you're thinking. Poor you. Just brilliant, isn't it? How ridiculous, but brilliant.
It just my next door neighbour just got a sponge front door. Well, you can't knock it. I mean, stuff like that. It's just so. I don't know how he comes up with it. I
know
don't
it's
how.
just absolutely hysterical. I mean, the other one as well is you corrected Tipex. No, you. They say it depends how you tell them, right? No, it's you created Tipex. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Frank Thornton, who I had the pleasure of writing for when I wrote all the training films for Dixon's and PC World and Curry's all that many years ago. Frank Thornton was just outstanding as Captain Peacock, though the late, great John Boyce Chalice. Oh, did he? Pity he didn't expand the reboots. John Chalice was... I also wrote for John Chalice in another corporate video. Very, very nice. And they were both very nice.
Mr. Humphreys, are you free?
I'm free. It's outrageous, but it was so funny. Some of the funnest comedies when Dominic Holland does gig for a company on industry, does his research and really hits home, taking the mickey out of Dominic Holland. I saw in a very small tiny venue. It was a shop. That was it. It was a shop, like an art gallery or something, off in Soho. And that's Tom Holland's dad, isn't it? Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's his dad, Dominic Holland. He was hilarious. I love this. Is my favorite gag, and I couldn't work out how to get it on there. Here we go. So he holds up a sign. Go on, read it, because you love this. I love it.
BNAG.
He holds up a flag.
That's bang out of order.
It's the way Tim Vine developed. He holds up this flag and goes, "That's bang out of order." And it's just like boom, just boom. I love it. Right, I think she's ready. She's looking groomed. She's looking slick.
I do like all of those one-liner things, though. There was actually the other person is Stuart Francis. He's another one.
Stuart Francis is very good.
Absolutely hysterical. I mean, I think he used to sort of say at the end of his gigs, he'd sort of say that I'd like to dedicate this performance to my dad, who was a roofer. So, Dad, if you're up there.
I ended one of my first
stand-ups.
I actually said I want to dedicate this to my father, and I know he's looking down on me, and everybody in German Street went, "Oh," I said, "No, he's not dead. He's just nicking the lead from the roof." Okay, Captain. No, we're not going there, Fat Scott.
No, definitely
not. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her. You love her, especially Lloyd Beatty of NW3, who adores her and drives me mad about her. Chantal Rickards OBE.
Hello. And to Lloyd Beanie. Hello, Lloyd.
Oh, God, you've done it now. Oh, never.
How are you?
Well, we're all okay. Thank you. Did you get my email thanking you profusely?
Which email? I did. Well, yes, I got last week's. What is it? Earlier on this week, you sent me an email about a couple of programs, a couple of rabbit holes I'd sent you down last weekend.
You sent me down it was terrific. You sent me into Citadel, and I binge watched the first 3 episodes. I'm hoping the next 3 come out soon. And Sen Monroe
was total tosh, but you enjoyed it.
It was absolute garbage, but it was fabulous garbage. It was just, I mean, it's completely ridiculous, but fantastic, beautifully
ridiculous,
done.
very
great
expensive.
And Sen Monroe, I got to say it again. I honestly thought, knowing Sen, it would be like bloke in a bus stop, and he goes, "That was me." But no, he had this huge scene. It was really good. Really, I spoke to him the other day, and congratulated him. Very interesting. Little bit of gossip for you. He was filming that. Good. He's in the middle of the scene. I got stop. Fred Smith, third cameraman on the left's got COVID.
Oh, lovely.
So we'll get back to you. 6 months go by.
No.
6 months before they can film that scene again. 6 months. Yeah, it was right in the middle of COVID. So yeah, they had to be really careful. Yeah, I know. It was filmed a long time ago. And the other thing that you sent me into, which was what the hell was it? The Prince, was it the Prince Andrew thing? That was terrific.
Oh, the Prince Andrew documentary. Yes, I think you saw that 2 part of the.
Well, that was very good, actually.
Wow.
And I don't normally like stuff Channel 4 put out.
What? Just on principle, Phil?
Well, they're a bit edgy for my liking.
They're a bit slightly to the left of Stalin, aren't they?
I
Velcro.
quite like Countdown.
That's the rip-off. God's sake. Anyway,
Some very good things on Channel 4, including Countdown, which I used to make.
I love Countdown.
You made that as well.
I did. It was the very first program on Channel 4. I didn't
It
make
was.
the very
As the
first program
countdown
on
to
Channel
a new
4.
channel ends, a new countdown begins.
Very good. Phil, you've actually remembered it verbatim. That's amazing.
Well, that I mean, you say remembered it verbatim. To be honest, it
life.
launched in '82, and I wasn't born, so I know it from
Oh,
history.
shut up, Phil. Just shut up, you stupid face with your holidays.
1982, long time ago. Anyway, it was fun, and it's still on
Yesterday
air. There
for
aren't
me.
many shows on television that have been on air since 1982. So, congratulations to Countdown.
Absolutely.
Simple yet
Now,
effective, and apparently based on a French game show.
It was.
Correct.
But the Marcel. Oh God, no! I had dinner with him several times. Marcel. It's come right out of my head. It's so embarrassing.
Marcel Stelman.
Marcel Stelman. Do you know how we got Countdown over here? He was in Paris. The most charming, understated man, music producer mainly.
Yeah.
In the music industry, the loveliest man, charming. And they're going out for dinner. They're in Paris in a hotel, and his wife is taking like forever to get ready. Don't throw anything heavy at me, please. I'm just repeating the story. So he's bored stupid, and he's sitting on the end of the bed watching TV, going through channels, and up comes this French show called Countdown, or whatever the hell they call it.
No,
it's
Le chiffre et de lettres.
It's probably just called. If it's French, it's just.
Which is very catchy when you know that it translates to the numbers and the letters. I mean, really, I'm sure they could have come up with a slightly snappier title.
Anyway, he sat there at the end of the bed, and he thought, that is a terrific show. Had his wife been ready on time, he wouldn't have seen the show. But because she was what a lovely mug. Who makes mugs like that, I wonder?
Who lives in a mug like this?
Like that. Chantal, it's over to you. Anyway, so yeah, he bought the rights, and that was it. Lovely guy. He only died not long ago.
I didn't know that story.
Do you think as the coffin? Do you think as the coffin went through the curtains, they just did?
Could you stop? Even
I'm
for
just asking.
that could you stop now?
Oh, I'm just asking. Come on, it's a perfectly reasonable question.
And if people say, "Is that a true story?" Well, he sat next to me at dinner, and he was such a nice man. What a charming guy. Anyway,
he was. We were always rather scared of him when he came to visit the studio. I can't quite remember why, but
really?
he had a very commanding presence, and we always used to sort of run around like scared animals when he was there.
I wished I had that ability for some strange
people just
reason.
Run away.
They
people
run away, but not for that
like
reason.
Scared animals when you turn up. That's it.
I don't get it.
What have we got? It's all coming out now. I just read a book on the history of glue. Couldn't put it down. Oh God, it's all gone Tim Vine mad. Right, Chantal. Are we going to play her little song? I think.
Oh yes, I think we should, really, shouldn't we?
We love TV. No doubt about it. We love TV.
I don't know how you can hear this because I can't.
I don't understand it.
Well, it's deafening in my ears. Anyway, there we
sorry.
go. Right. What? Hey?
Pardon?
Don't know. What have you found for us this week? Chantal Rickards OBE.
I've found a couple of really good documentaries and a couple of really good TV series. So I'm going to take us straight back to Paris with that lovely story you told us about Marcel Stelman in Paris. Take us straight back to Paris. And actually, I found a documentary that I missed. It's 2 years old. It's not going to be on the BBC iPlayer for much longer. And if you haven't seen it, you've absolutely got to watch it. It's the story of Notre Dame, the fabulous cathedral in the middle of Paris, of Notre Dame burning down. Clearly, it didn't burn to the ground. But there was a massive fire, as I'm sure everybody in the world knows, in 2019. I remember I was sitting in my office in Hollywood, watching it live on television as the sun was going down over Paris. And I think every broadcaster was showing all these live pictures of this disastrous fire that had arrive from nowhere. That's never
It was,
actually quite.
it was
a
well, it was
documentary.
apparently, allegedly, it was an
Yes.
oxyacetylene torch that the workmen were they were doing some renovations or stuff, and as you
They
do with
were
very
doing
old stuff,
renovations.
you use an oxyacetylene torch because what could
Yeah.
go wrong? And
Yeah.
that was it. They probably thought they were fixing a Morris Marina and ended up they'd mistaken. Anyway, there we go.
I do have to say, I mean, I'm not of Catholic faith. I don't think it matters too much. But
You're
the point
not?
is, I just remember when that was on the news and just feeling utterly sick at the thought of why did this have to happen in our lifetime.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
It's such a stunning structure. It is awe-inspiring. There you go. I've been there a few times.
No,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's incredible, and I'm no longer Catholic. God and I stopped talking to each other some time ago. He's rather like a sort of an old boyfriend that I was continually phoning, and he never called back. So the conversation came to an abrupt end a few years ago.
I mean, there's not many people who can say they've been ghosted by God.
Jesus. Can you just imagine if you're sitting there and suddenly a text come up? Chantal, this is God.
Wow. I know I'm going to get struck by a thunderbolt on my way into battle.
You won't get. Fat Scotty, stop it.
Mind you, having said that, apparently this is absolutely no word of a lie. Apparently, Archbishop Welby has received a fine for speeding. So there was a brilliant headline, just a brilliant headline that someone's put Godspeed.
That's very clever.
I'm not joking. I think it's hysterical. Very
great for Archbishop Welby to be arrested for taking speed, and that would just be fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
That would be a headline.
No, he did not. Clarify, we do not have that.
No, I know he didn't. He's in a car or Pope-mobile or whatever it is. Okay,
gracious.
So anyway, it's about the Notre Dame.
Oh my God, can you imagine if he was joyriding the Pope-mobile? That'd be incredible.
Good, wouldn't it?
I don't think we're probably
headlines now.
Anyway, this documentary. It doesn't
oh
matter.
Yeah, sorry.
No, not at all. But it absolutely doesn't matter if you're a person of faith or not. This is an extraordinarily good documentary. It's made by the French, who can make a good documentary or two on occasion, and it's really mainly from the. And it's basically the 12 hours of when the fire started until they pretty much got it under control. And it's mainly from the point of view of the firefighters, which actually is really interesting because you don't normally get firefighters sitting around telling you about what's happened in a major fire and how they tackled it. And the first firefighter you meet is this incredibly young woman who's probably in her early 20s called Marie Ange, Mary Angel, which, I mean, you couldn't make that stuff up. And it is her very first real fire. And they're all sitting around, and the reenactments where they're sort of polishing their trucks and all the rest of it, because the following morning they've got to go and have an inspection, and the truck has to be beautiful and all the equipment has to be perfect. And she's sort of joking away, saying, we're all sitting there, and then we always say, oh, we're going to get called out this evening because there's an inspection tomorrow. And then suddenly all the alarms go off. And you see these people rushing to the fire. But the characters are so good. They completely take you through the story. There's the crazy rector who is called Monsignor Chauvet, who just left the cathedral, was on his way back down the Rive Gauche, calls into a couple of the bars on the way. He's having a coup de rouge at one of the places, and somebody says, hang on a second, Monsignor.
He's having a what? Hang on, whoa. He's having a what?
He's having a coup de
rouge. What is that? Glass of red. Glass of red?
A glass of red. He's having a coup de rouge.
Exactly. In my language. Okay.
And he sort of infers that as he leaves in the evening, he walks past all the various bars. And because he's their parish priest, they all call him in, going, do you want a glass, Monsignor, as he's leaving work? And he's
drawn by the spirits.
Oh, dear. But honestly, it is such a brilliant, brilliant documentary. And it's simply called, and it's part of Storyville, which is the BBC 4 documentary strand, and it's just called The Night Notre Dame Burned, and it is absolutely terrific. It's only on there for another couple of months, I think, so it's really worth watching whilst you've got the
They
chance.
were exceptionally lucky, though, weren't they, Chantas? They were so lucky, because that could have been horrific. Absolutely.
Well, it was horrific, but it could even been more
absolutely,
so.
Absolutely. But I mean, if it's going to happen, it could have been infinitely worse. So
yeah,
it is a beautiful.
And the sort of jeopardy is built into it, because actually they have to decide whether they're going to try and save the facade. But in saving the facade, which are the two bell towers, and one of the bell towers starts to burn, and they have to decide whether they potentially might sacrifice human life by saving the bell tower, which would, because if the bell tower had come down, then the whole of the facade would have come down, and then the walls would have, and literally it just would have been a flat pack by the end of it. And these...
I didn't know it came from IKEA.
They're so, no, but so brave and so dedicated and so hunky. I mean, honestly, it's just a
now we're getting to the...
Now we get to the crux. Now we understand why, for heaven's sakes. Here was me thinking you were genuinely concerned about the history of Notre Dame, but no.
I am.
Yes, she is. She's going
clearly something a little more otherworldly.
Softail Sportster.
Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned that. That was very, very naughty of me.
No, I think it's very, very marvellous of you.
On the eye, let's just put it that way.
That's very marvellous. By the way, Rosemary Jessup says, "Oh, that's by Godspeed," was of course said to astronauts on their way to space, but she was. Rosemary Jessup is my tipster. She's my horse racing tipster, and I have done really well. The last two outings done really well. Yeah, she sends me a little note, so I do.
Well, that's
do a little
good to know. Thank you. Gambleaware.org, please.
Yeah, I don't go mad. You know, if I lost it, it would be okay. It's like
not yet. I'm showing concern for the viewer. I don't mind you. You can gamble whatever you want, to be honest.
Oh, thanks very much. I had to. You know why, Chantal? One of the horses is called the Gatekeeper.
Oh, yes.
And another horse that Rosemary always recommends to me is
called Russ Kane. It's extraordinary.
Oh. I suppose you want to bring your holiday in advance, do you, by any chance? Anyway, right. So that's the French thing. The night they burned Old Dixie down. No, it was an old song by the band. Right. So that's on Channel 4. Yeah. No, BBC iPlayer.
BBC iPlayer
on Storyville.
BBC iPlayer. Yeah. BBC 4. And it's there, and I'm sure because it's a foreign documentary. It would have been sold all over the world. It's been so well reviewed, and I have no idea how I missed it.
Come over here. They take our documentaries.
Anyway, well, listen, I'm going to take you back over the water now. I'm going to take you to Antwerp, to the Diamond District.
Very generous of you. Thank you, Chantal.
That's nice.
To a Belgian drama, 6 parts, 8-parter, which is on Netflix.
Will you waffle on about it? Oh, come on! This is crying out.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah.
Because just in case you didn't get the reference, the Belgian,
we got it for Belgium.
Their waffles.
It stars
waffling is also another way of saying talking a lot. So.
And it stars. Well, I got to get my. This is the only time I can ever do Belgian stuff. It stars Hercule Poirot, Audrey Hepburn, and Tintin.
Oh, couldn't be better.
Well, there you go. That's everyone I know from Belgium.
That's it.
That's actually, that reminds me, as another one-liner, it reminds me of, where do Belgians keep their waffles? In a Tintin. Anyway.
That's good. That's very good.
Is Jean-Claude Van Damme Belgian?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, yes, he is. I forgot that. It's a period piece. It's called the kickboxing. That suddenly appeared. Yes, he is. No, Jean Van Damme is from Belgium. Yes, he is indeed.
Yes, Belgium.
Anyway,
he's Belgium, good Lord.
Antwerp.
So we're in Antwerp.
Right.
This is a sort of diamond and drugs drama. It's created by the guys who wrote Founder. Although it's Belgian, it is of Israeli parentage, if you like. Founder was a very successful drama series that started about 3 or 4 years ago. But they've moved location, these guys. They've gone to the Diamond District of Antwerp. And it features mainly a family who are, I have to get the word right, a charade family, which was a word I didn't know.
Charade.
Is it charade or
It's
charade or charade?
Charade.
Okay,
Chantal,
Is it
I
their
don't know either.
ultra orthodox? You do know Haredi is the ultra orthodox.
Yes.
I don't know.
So there are two spellings. There's one with a CH and one with an H, but Haredi, if that is the one that
it's both ways, despite the peculiar spelling, is technically it, but the one without the C is just an anglicized version of saying Haredi, but it is technically Haredi. So
good. Well, thank you for clearing that up.
My microphone is saturated now. Sorry.
Yes. Thank God you got foam on it. You got to squeeze it out. Right. So it's set in Antwerp. Okay, fine.
Set in Antwerp.
Is it called Rough Diamonds? Everyone's going mad about this. People have watched it, love it, apparently.
Yeah, it's good. It came out on Netflix about a week ago. There are 8 parts. I've watched the first 3. I really like it. It starts a very exciting opening, very dramatic. There is a young man who is the youngest son of this Haredi family. You see him running into a diamond merchant's. We don't quite know what's going on. You think possibly is he there to steal, but it doesn't quite all add up. He runs in, he has an altercation with the guard at the door. He grabs the guy's gun and he goes into a room, and then you hear the gun go off. So it's a very dramatic start.
Where was it shot? Hey, you're welcome.
Oh. But then back into the fold comes the estranged son from 15 years earlier who had given up religion, had gone off under a cloud to London, and comes back to help solve the mystery as to why his brother has died. And then you go down this fabulous rabbit hole of drugs and diamonds, and it gets more and more murky. But the family relationships are very key to everything that's going on, and how they present themselves to the world is of great importance to them. And he brings his young son back into this family group, or into this family group for the first time, who really doesn't see any difference between him and his cousins, but clearly their upbringings have been massively different. So you get a great big rich family story, as well as, you know, this great crime drama of what's going on, who are the Albanians, what have they got to do with it. It's terrific. The first 3 episodes are really good. Apparently, from what I've read, it lulls a bit in the center episodes and then gets much better again towards the end. So stick with it. But the reviews are great, and I've really enjoyed the first 3 eps. And it's called Rough Diamonds.
Is it not being silly? Is it in English or is it subtitled, or what's the deal?
It's not in English,
but you can watch it dubbed.
You can watch it dubbed. I mean, most of these streaming services now are offering so many different versions of it in the original language, in 6 or 7 other languages dubbed, or with subtitles, or a mixture of all of them. So they're much easier to watch than they used to be. It's not just, you know, trying to find the tiny little type on screen.
I don't like it when it's dubbed, I'll be honest with you, because you're hello.
It freaks me out. It makes me think my eyes are not working.
I like to listen because I think you get the intonation, even if you don't understand it. I watch a lot of Spanish stuff, which I just do because they make some fantastic shows. Just brilliant. The Barztan trilogy is just a brilliant series of films, and you get the intonation and the emotion. And I'm happy to read the subtitles because it doesn't bother me, to be perfectly honest with you. I think we've kind of got past that stage where it used to be an art house film. That was just a film. Got subtitles.
Exactly that. So,
and that is on again. Just remind everybody, because otherwise I'm going to get flooded with people sending me emails.
Rough Diamonds. It's called Rough Diamonds on Netflix.
Okay,
and definitely worth watching. Okay, so now we're heading over to Los Angeles, Russ, where you and I have spent many a happy time, but also happy to have come home. And actually, there's a terrific documentary that also came out on Netflix this very morning, which is called Still. And it is a documentary, or the second part of it is a Michael J. Fox movie. Michael J. Fox, the Canadian actor, is now 61. And as everybody will probably know, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's when he was 29, which he managed to hide pretty much for about the first 6 or 7 years after diagnosis. He was still doing a film called Spin City. Not a film, still doing a
TV series, wasn't it? Yeah, Spin City.
comedy show called Spin City. And a lot of people, most people, were not told what was going on. One or two of the cast members worked out that something was amiss, and they were told that he had Lyme's disease to sort of put them off finding out about his diagnosis of Parkinson's. So he was diagnosed in 91, and clearly he's still doing well 32 years later. It's a remarkable documentary, and that he talks about it with it's not mawkish in any way, but it's also not self-serving. He comes across as an incredibly nice man with a very, very, very good acute sense of humor. And you see why he was such a good comedy actor, because he's naturally funny. He's naturally quick-witted. But clearly this disease has absolutely ravaged him. He went through terrible alcoholism in the earlier days, but he's still very happily married to the same woman. They've got 4 kids. And it's uplifting, sad, but uplifting at the same time. And I think for anybody who's ever having trouble in their lives, this is a really good film to watch, because it's fascinating about how he was tackling his career, but also how he's come through and has risen above it, and life is clearly very different, but different and sometimes better in a different way. It's good. It's really worth watching, and it's called Still. Obviously the play on words, because he cannot be still, and he was probably don't ever quite get told, but he was probably a kid with ADHD, because he could never sit still. He was constantly on the move. His parents just, couldn't get him to sit down at all. So anyway, it's a little joke to have called this documentary Still, but it is absolutely worth watching.
And I guess that's why, if he did have that when he was doing the Back to the Future trilogy, there's so much energy there, isn't there? There's so much liveliness, and he puts so much into the part, and it's just terrific. And he seems like a very charming man. Am I going round the bend, or was he in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm? I'm sure he was, where Larry David goes to his house. I'm embarrassed even saying this, even for Larry David, it was harsh. But it shows you the humor that Michael J. Fox has about his horrible situation, when Larry David just rips into him. And of course, being Larry David, it ends up in a terrible row, as we would expect, but
Yeah, I mean, it's nicely done in that lots of clips of his films and his TV shows are intercut into the documentary. So you see lots of him doing his absolute best work. So, it's very joyful in many ways. And then they use some of those clips to actually allow you to understand what he was going through. So they found particular clips which show him falling over, and that's where they're describing the fact that every bone in his body has been broken because he keeps falling over all the time. It's very cleverly done. It's a really sympathetic documentary. I really liked it. Anyway, out today, very morning on Netflix.
Well done. How did you see it? So if it's only I'm going to ask, how did you get to see it? If it's only... Oh, it dropped early. Okay.
No. It dropped earlier today. I've got a link to see a lot of this stuff early. I didn't actually go on to the link that I get. I watched it early today because I knew it was coming and everybody was talking about it, and I wanted
an argument coming in now, and I need you to shoot him down in flames. Ramsey Wymer's on. Hi, Ramsey says, I think it's on Apple TV, not Netflix.
It's Apple TV Plus. TV. Apple TV Plus.
It is on Apple TV. Apologies.
Okay. No, don't.
No.
Well done,
quite
right.
Otherwise,
that was Chantal Rickards. She's gone.
That's Hollywood. Make one mistake, you're out.
Exactly.
What is Apple TV? Well, I got you. What is Apple TV Plus? What is that new?
Same difference.
Oh, I don't. Okay, yeah. I have no idea. Absolutely.
No, and it's actually written down in front of me in my notes that it's Apple TV, and I just misremembered. So anyway.
Well, that is your truth, Chantal. That is your truth.
That's how I see
recollections may vary, so it's fine.
That's your truth. I had such a go with somebody the other day. I said, "There's no such thing as your truth. It's just the truth." It is. Although my truth is, I am leading the Formula One Drivers' Championship at the moment.
Oh, very good.
It's incredible. That's my truth. Right, moving on.
Okay, moving on. We're going to
the lottery this weekend.
Oh, say that again. I missed that, Phil.
I said, my truth is I will win the lottery this week. I'm just putting out like sort of
yeah,
positive vibe.
yeah. Just you got to give out. Well, I won Set for Life this morning. Well, last night, £5. So I'm okay until about the next 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
well,
you get
I won
five. You get £5 every month for the rest of your life.
No,
now.
I just win a £5. Jeez, it's pathetic, isn't it? All right, okay, Chantal.
I got £250 from Ernie last week.
Get you.
Get me.
The fastest milkman in the West.
No, actually, I don't think Ernie exists anymore. Ernie used to exist in Blackpool, I seem to remember.
Electronic random number indicator something. That's what Ernie was.
I see. Ernie is an acronym.
It's an acronym of electronic random number indicator.
Electronic random number indicator
Egg-white.
equipment. There you go. Very
Well
good.
done.
Well done.
Why is it I can't remember anything, and yet something as bizarre and obscure as that, boom, straight away?
Well, that's very good. And the only thing I can remember is I think Ernie was in Blackpool, but I mean, I don't know why I remember that, and I could be wrong.
Let's spend 20 minutes
Let's
talking about it is, as Kimmy quite rightly says, it's the N, it's an N and I, NSI or N. It's got Leroy you got Jethro Leroy Gibbs in it. It's NCIS now. That's what it is. God knows, I bloody don't know. Here we go. Ramsey's saying this. Michael J. Fox was interviewed by Lorraine this morning and came across as a really nice guy. Watch it. I'm going to watch the show you just recommended over this weekend. Thanks, Chantal. There you go.
Oh, good. It's really worth it. Excellent. Oh, well, he's clearly doing the publicity round, so good for him. Anyway, we're off to Amsterdam.
Oh, this is interesting. Before we go anywhere, Graham Pack. Did you see Walt Disney lost 4 million subscribers in the first 3 months of this year? Yeah, go woke, go broke, as they're finding out at Anheuser-Busch. Yeah. What a car crash. But anyway, we won't talk about it. Yes,
I find it extraordinary, though. I mean, how daft TV executives have to be to not realise that. Seriously, if you don't give what the audience want, guess what? They're going to go elsewhere. It's
Chantal,
just bizarre.
can I ask us a question? Can I just divert us slightly? I saw an interview with Richard Dreyfuss last night. Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws and from Jaws and Close Encounters and The Apprenticeship of Judy Kravitz, just a fantastic actor, right? And he was going absolutely apoplectic about the fact that Hollywood, and it's all in Variety, your Bible, that every film to be considered for an award, to even be considered, has to have all these criteria in it of ethnic minorities, gay, this, that, underrepresented people. And if it doesn't, you won't even be considered. And he went nuts. I'm just curious. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, it's very rare, actually, for people to speak out in Hollywood because mostly people keep under the radar if they possibly can. Yeah. And they keep their political cards pretty close to their chest. I could probably name a dozen who I know are obvious Democrats and one or two who are obvious Republicans. But mostly people don't talk about political things over there. And also you don't bite the hand that feeds you because, it's a very small community, very small community. And that is clearly, it's going to get a lot of publicity. That I haven't read about it, to be honest.
Oh, he just went bonkers. Yeah. He really lost his temper but he ended up saying something which was so dumb. It was so dumb. He said, "Did you know that the last white actor to play Othello was Sir Laurence Olivier?" And I go, "Oh, okay." Who it was brilliant. That's true. The last white actor to play Othello in a film or TV was Sir Laurence Olivier. In 1962, and he says, "Are you telling me?" And he's serious, and this is where I kind of lost the plot. "Are you telling me that I can never play a black man?" And I sat there going, "Yes, of course you won't ever play a black man. You're Richard Dreyfuss, for God's sake." Stop it.
Oh.
That
Well,
was
I
silly.
know that
He
there
lost
is-
the argument at that point, but the rest of
I
it
feel
was
like
great.
this is a can of worms that we're opening up, and with less than a minute to go, it's probably not the
Okay.
best time to talk about it, but any odd way. Chantal, thank you so much, as ever.
Listen, not at all. Lovely to see you. Have a great weekend,
Lovely
guys.
to see you. Thank you so,
And
bye,
so
Laurie.
much. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Hopefully,
This is
I shall
fantastic.
chime in next week. We'll see what happens.
Would be great if you can. That'd be terrific if you
Yeah.
can come in. Have a wonderful, wonderful trip.
Thank you very
And
much indeed.
send all loads of photos because I love all the photos because I haven't been away for 5 years. So I actually vicariously enjoy watching other people's. I really do.
Sort of like holiday through osmosis.
That's it. Or any
Yes.
other travel company. Boom.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Right.
And on that note,
Thank you for your company, everybody. I'll be back with Neil Long and the gang on Monday at 12. Have a wonderful weekend. Phil, thank you. Enjoy. We'll see you in a couple of weeks or maybe next week. Till then, stay safe.
bye-bye.
Ta-ra.